song and all.
And the words are the words that our fathers heard as they whistled down the years. And the name of the song is the name of the dream that sings into our ears.
America, America, and the dream goes on. America, America, and the dream goes on.
And the words that we read on the courthouse walls are the words that make us free. And the more we remember the way we began, the closer we get to the best we can be.
Whatever time we forgot its worth of the struggles and the scars. If we cling to the children, a sky full of hope and a flag that's filled with stars. America, America, and the dream goes on. Remember the voice of Jefferson and the sound of Thomas Paine. Lincoln sang at Gettysburg about America. Listen well to the wind and you can hear from Oregon to Maine. America, America. Though the voices are changing, the song's the same as it sings from sea to sea. And as long as the music is strong and clear, we'll know that tomorrow will always be free. America, America, and the dream lives on. America, America, and the dream goes on. America, America, and the dream goes on.
I joined the Army National Guard during my senior year in high school, and I took the oath just 2 weeks after my 18th birthday. At the time, we were at a time of peace. Then 6 months later, our country was attacked. That day changed my life. Soon after 9/11, it was my time to serve, and I got those orders that we were on our way to Afghanistan. It threw my world for a loop. I was scared, terrified, but then I realized I was trained to do this, and that I could do my part as a medic. As hard as it sometimes was, seeing these wounded soldiers who were fighting for our country, I was honored to take care of them. Many of the missions I served on were medical and humanitarian missions, building up this nation over there. One particular village was Jagdalek, where we spent a lot of time rebuilding. I grew so close to these people, and especially the children. There were times when we would play together, and at first it was hard to communicate because we spoke a completely different language, and we grew up on other sides of the world. But we found through laughter and smiling and playing games like tag, I was always it, of course, we found that we could communicate. And during those times of laughing and smiling, we understood each other. And after a year of visiting this village, it was finally time to say goodbye. I knew that I would never get to set foot in this village again because it was time to head back home. So I would turn around every 10 feet or so as I was heading up there, and I would see my girls at the bottom. There they were, grouped down there, waving as big as they could back at me, blowing kisses, showing the I love you sign, things I taught them. I tried not to cry because I was like, soldiers don't cry. I had to be tough. And when I boarded that aircraft, it was hard to hold back those emotions as my commander and I sat there in silence. And then all of a sudden my commander broke the silence and said, "Look." And we looked out the window of this aircraft to see these war-torn people waving the American flag. What a moment that was to see what our flag, what our nation stands for. I saw some of the toughest soldiers in that aircraft just crying, knowing that everything we left back in America was worth it because we were making a difference.
My grandmother, who was a German immigrant, always used to say, George, if you go to school, do the best job you can. Get the best grades you can. Well, I always tried to do the best job anyway because I was highly motivated and I wanted to get a good job so when I got married, I'd be able to provide for my family. I had completed 4 years of trade school. The war started and I got drafted. After I completed my basic training, they were going to make me a demolitions engineer, booby trap expert. I had put in to be a radio operator because I knew the code and I had a good background in electronics. But my boss says, Mitchell, you're going to go where we're going to go. You're not ever going to get transferred out of this activity. A general came to the engineering outfit I was working, and he says, I'm here to see if your civilian skills are being properly utilized. He said, we need you in the Army Air Corps. Sure enough, they transferred me and sent me to Tuskegee, Alabama. I knew all about Tuskegee. In those days, all the services were segregated. If you were a Tuskegee Airman, you were going to try to do the best job you could. We could show them that we had the intelligence to be a good aviator or a good sailor or a good Marine. I left the military, got married, became not only a technician, but the head of the technicians. I became the supervisory technician. And then, of course, Korea came along. I got into the Vietnam conflict. I was the chief engineer at the big naval base at Subic Bay. So I made hundreds of trips in and out of Vietnam